osteoporosis and stuff really early, and it messes with your teeth, all kinds of stuff. So they used to give that. As a matter of fact, that was one of the things. Like when I was talking to the people that were interviewing me, they used to offer that in jails, and because pregnant women were allowed to take that as well. And so they
see,
offered
that's
it.
fucked. I think these treatments are worse than the problems.
They are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
100%.
I couldn't believe that pregnant women were taking methadone. I just didn't know that was a thing. However, now they are offering, these subs instead of the Subutex and Suboxones for
Suboxones.
The
biggest one out
right now. Listen, so the only reason I could get a private attorney, Kay, is because when I got divorced, I became friends with my divorce lawyer. So I had an open tab with a defense attorney. Otherwise, I was sitting in jail with $100,000 bond. I never would have been able to come up with the 35, 40 grand a retainer would have cost me.
Who can?
And also, I fucked up bond 3 times during my trial. So the reason that they gave me corrections, they told my lawyer this, they gave me corrections. The only reason they agreed is because they assumed that I would fuck up my probation as well. Like I had my bond. And so there was a lot of things that fell into place right.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Flo, I think that Ben Thorpe, he's either on community control or he got treatment in lieu. The idea that he's allowed to have his expunged,
withheld judgment,
and it's a violent, a charge. I didn't even know that they expunged violent charges. So I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but
I could see it.
For him to get I don't think that you can expunge those things unless they gave him, because if it's his first conviction,
you can expunge.
They might have given him treatment in lieu of conviction.
This is a misdemeanor domestic violence. It's not. It's expungable.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that you were able
to. It's probably just labeled assault.
It's simple. It's probably simple assault.
Simple assault. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not.
But he does it.
The sentence for simple assault is less than like any drug offense. It's really actually shockingly small.
I can't believe that. And then I guess treatment in lieu is for felonies. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, so there's Senate Bill 123. That would be treatment for drug use, though, and that I didn't qualify for that because my plea deal was as a drug dealer, not a drug user. And and Senate bill it differentiates the two, sort of like you were saying, level 1s and 2s at the jail. Mm-hmm. The reason those things are separated that way is because it's how bills are. These are all legal. These are all legislations. Mm-hmm. I don't think there isn't treatment for that sort of shit in the same way that there you could take anger management or whatever, but. He probably got diversion.
I mean, apparently he said he had anger management today.
Yeah,
although
I'm sure he takes anger management. He's probably a type of diversion.
Yeah. I just and obviously since he wasn't discussing where he was, he apparently is in the same space as Grace. That's why he wouldn't say it.
He's in the trailer outside in the driveway.
Yeah,
he's
he's not allowed to be there
on the same piece of property. So.
Yeah, but he's not allowed to be there. He has to be a certain amount of feet. Away from her. Even if it's in the driveway, he has to be a certain distance from her. He can't be in the driveway. So
I was going through my shit with my divorce. The old lady was doing all this shit when I'd go pick up the kids from school, and she'd call and call a kidnapping charge and shit on me.
Oh,
she's
God.
all fucked up. And she calls one day. She's working at the fucking hospital. Or no, she was at the old folks home, I think, at the time, and calls me at lunchtime. Oh, hey, I forgot the kids' antibiotics. You need to go to the house and the antibiotics and get them down to the school. I'm like, well, I'm not supposed to be there, and whatever. The neighbor was hot. The other 2 neighbors down 2 blocks were hot, so there's cops in the fucking neighborhood all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am crawling into my own front yard window.
Oh,
out in the open, just into the living room window as the freaking sheriff drives by.
Oh God. So did you get pulled, or did he pull over?
Yeah, he stopped.
Uh-huh.
Of course.
Yeah. So that ended badly.
Well, I was in a place where I wasn't supposed to be, legally, but the cops can't do anything at that point. Really, there has to. It's even with me being on the property and in the house with.
Oh, there
she
has to
wasn't
be a
there.
complaint.
She wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
There does have to be a complaint, and there does have to be a judge's order to say,
Yeah, the order is for her, not for the house.
Right.
Yeah, I see.
So luckily it was on the person and not the property.
Right.
But you gotta be aware of that shit. He was on fucking with BB and Truth this morning, asking how to getting some inmate.com advice, getting some people that really know what the fuck, right?
Right. I always thought
if somebody told the cop that I was with my daughter, could the cop just do anything? And like,
oh yeah.
I'm like, dude.
I always thought that would be a good channel to have, is people that were people that had been to jail, to like maybe like a how to survive in jail kind of a channel where you gave tips.
We need to do one on
like
when they get out, on how to get a job and how to maintain their lives.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing. I mean, just all jail related stuff, like how to survive, like what to do and what not to do, and what to do when you get out, and how you go about
people
getting
punk and bitch. Those are terms of respect in prison.
Right. Yeah, but like things like, for instance,
CO Lawrence would know about a little bit about that. I'll tell you what, wouldn't you, CO?
Oh yeah.
Don't ever call a CO sheriff. You don't ever call a CO deputy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I knew a guy that had done some jail time, and he used to like give advice to people that were going in, and he, for instance, he would say, like, put on several pairs of boxer shorts. It'll take a while for you to be able to order underwear, and wear a few different white long sleeve shirts and t-shirts because it's freezing in there, and same with the socks.
On the unit, a lot of them will just
like
take
just
the
stuff like
clothing
that,
from you anyways.
I wouldn't have known to do anything like that. And I mean, I guess, if you've never been in jail or anything like that, how would anybody know what to do? So he used to give people advice like that. I always thought,
I'd be like, put a tampon in your butt, you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
If you're going out to do some crime, always wear fresh underwear.
Well, I just took that tour of the jail, and I mean, I couldn't believe the shit. Like, I was completely different than what I thought it was going to be. I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but I thought it was totally different than what I had imagined in my head.
You mean all the true crime shit, and you've never seen the inside of a jail?
No, I had not. But I did a whole story I did an entire video on jails and prisons. And even though, like, I had done that entire video, I had never really gone. I mean, you can't just go inside a jail if you've not been arrested. They're not going to just let you go in there for any reason, I had thought about asking them if I could go in during when I was making that video, but they would not have let you.
You know what somebody should make is like a Bible, a prison Bible, like the codes of the prison. That would be pretty cool. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, they make, like, I do know that they make, because I've read some of them. They make they have prison books, like novels and stuff. That
it's called the Prisoner's Handbook. You get one on the first day that you're in intake, and you're expected to know every fucking rule.
Yeah, but this isn't. I'm talking about just like
I didn't get a handbook.
Oh yeah. Well, you weren't state though.
I've never heard of that before.
They should have a pre-presentation video as you're getting transported to jail, so you know the basics, right?
Bro, I didn't give a shit. We didn't get yard time. We didn't get sunlight. Literally.
The one thing that I did see is that all of them had like rules on the wall, like and they almost all said like the number one rule was that you have to shower and you have to clean or have good hygiene in there. That was always
it's fucking annoying if you get somebody in the cell who's like, no, I'm not gonna shower today. No. At some point, like, people just start making your decisions for you, right? Like, it's time for you to shower.
Yeah. How lazy do you have to be? Like, I mean, you don't have anything else to do. Take a freaking shower. I've never heard of
It was normally people who, when they were first in there, and they would be falling out, right? Like if you've been up for a long time on meth, and then you're sleeping that off. But
Sure.
Dude, the drug dreams though,
Yeah.
and especially guys that are hardcore cigarette smokers as well. Nicotine has very
dude,
big
it was
effects on
sugar.
dreams.
Sugar. I wanted pop
Yep.
more than anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which was crazy because I'm not that big of a pop drinker, and it's not like we were cut off from sugar. We still got some sugar in jail, just not enough.
Yeah.
Not what you're used to.
Yeah, I had read that in the literature that they had given me, and I had already heard this as well. But I know when people are coming off of opiates, that's a thing that because that's got the same kind of thing that gives them dopamine rushes and fills those receptors in is sugar. So that's a very common thing if you're withdrawing from opiates is sugar. And so people will crave candy, but you weren't even doing that at the time you were picked up,
Opiates?
right?
Let's see. Actually, the first time I was in there, I had just finished off my bag of oxys the night before I got raided. Luckily.
Oh well, then that makes sense. That's why.
Sleep for 4 days.
But it lasted though. It wasn't just the beginning.
How long were you in prison there, Flo?
I didn't go to prison. I was in jail for about 4 months.
All right.
But Flo, it's not. I don't think it's not a withdrawal thing that is just for.
No, Crispy, I changed your name.
It's not when you're just withdrawing off of that medication. It's something that you.
I bet Glenn would be a pretty cool CO.
I was a cool CO. You know what I told everybody?
Huh?
Every day I went there, I was like, "Hey guys, I came here to hang out. Don't make me do my job. All right?
Yeah.
My girlfriend's annoying. I came here to kick it and get away from her. Don't make me
That night that we were all on his channel when we met him, and you guys all left, him and I sat and talked for the longest time afterwards, and I got to find out all kinds of stuff about him. And he also went to seminary school.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And went to seminary.
Crispy, are you an agent?
Hmm?
Are you an agent?
I'm not an agent, but
you're an agent extracting information out of us, aren't you?
I wouldn't be very good at being a secret agent, I don't think. But I thank you for even suggesting that. I'm flattered.
Are you KGB?
And Be Brave are the agents.
Are you trying to say she's part of the ops?
All I'm saying is she's really good at getting dudes to pillow talk without even having to bang them.
Well, it's that voice. You see that voice right there? That's like 900 number status voice.
Yeah.
Wait, who asked me if I was ops? When was?
I've said that before. Like
no. Damn, I don't. Oh, I know what it was. It was from the video I played on my last live stream over on Snowman's. That dude asked me if I was ops.
Oh no, I would know you're not ops. But
how would you know? That's what the best because you're ops.
I can read your mind. That's why.
That's exactly what ops would say.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Exactly what an agent would say.
I shot a little video when I was down at breakfast this morning of the bar that dickhead was standing in front of that I told you about, Flo. I gotta find that guy. That guy that you did the other.
Oh yeah.
What's that asshole's name? What's his name?
Awesome. C.S. Joseph.
Yeah, that's right.
That's so dope.
I just wrote down Joseph. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
You should fuck with him.
Oh my god, the guy that you just did that video on that was trying to human traffic you to Mexico?
No, that's the one who asked me if I was ops. But who Fatty's talking about?
Yeah.
Is this dude named C.S. Joseph. I played one of his videos on here. He was like the first YouTube person. I don't know if I'd call him a rival, but I attacked him quite a bit because he's a dude.
Yeah.
So he started. Hold on, I'll just pull it up. It's easier to just show than explain.
He sounds familiar for some reason.
I played one of his videos on here.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I gotta find this dude. He was standing fucking like 50 feet away from my office.
Right?
So this
cool.
dude,
So yeah, that's the beacon. That's the beacon bar right there on the left. You see the big beacon sign in the window.
Welcome.
The red building is the Moose Lounge
Very
down
welcome.
on the lower side.
This?
Sorry with
The
the
window that's
ESTJ.
open.
Now we're on EST.
It's in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And this is not old. Those cones and all that shit are still there right now. They got the fucking utilities all dug up because we're putting in a big high-rise hotel downtown right now.
God,
This
I
isn't
feel
that
like
old
I've
of a
been here.
video.
I feel like I've been there. Is this it?
this video is from. This is the one I played actually. This video is from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, dude. I was just down there this morning eating breakfast, fucking right next door to the beacon. I gotta find that dude.
Are there
Seriously.
bars?
really
Is there a
want you to
bunch of
find them.
bars right down there, Flo? Or I mean, Fatty?
Yeah, it's fucking badass. It's a cool little town, man.
Okay.
It's
I
definitely cool.
probably have then.
Just kind
I
of the
get
main
it.
road. It actually used to be part of the Interstate 90 that came through town and had stoplights and all kinds of shit that you had to go through from the Washington border to the Montana border. There was 8 stoplights on the interstate, and they finally took the last one out when I was a kid in Wallace over by the Montana border. But just old school, brick and mortar shit and
Right. Is there
two-story
anything
fucking shitholes. But
Is there like concert halls or a stadium or anything like that over there?
no, see, we don't deal with that. We're really conservative here, so we just let
Right.
Spokane host all the events and do all that shit, and then we have the hotel that everybody
what
can
part
come
of
stay on the
Washington are
lake.
you
And
in?
right next to Spokane.
'Cause that's
Spokane
where
is
you are,
literally
right?
like
I know
the same
where Spokane is, but
area.
what's the little town name?
Coeur d'Alene,
Oh, I love Coeur d'Alene. Actually, I've been looking at moving out to
Coeur d'Alene Lake.
You're talking about
Bro,
Idaho.
It's oh yeah, North Idaho.
So I used to
North
go
Idaho is
to
a
that,
different land than just Idaho.
I used to go to that water
Yeah, dude,
park
it's-
out there. You know that water park in
Fuck
Coeur
yeah.
d'Alene? I used to take my son there like every
Wild
summer.
Waters. Fuck yeah, Wild Waters and Splish and
Yeah.
Splash, and oh yeah, dude, it's a cool town for sure.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed
Other
it a
than we're
lot.
getting, pretty much overran by the upper 1% right now. Our fucking real estate prices are just out of control.
And the Nazis, thank
Them
God Uncle
too.
Fatty's out there fighting the
Sure.
good fight, keep those Nazis at bay.
fucking A. Fucking cocksuckers.
But this is one of the videos I made about him. Yeah, I was doing some hit pieces.
Let's check it out.
How did C.S. Joseph type his recently born newborn son an INTJ? How did C.S. Joseph type his recently born newborn son an INTJ?
Bananas and
Seahawks
money and
hat.
cars and
Of course,
blowjobs
fucking
and
Seahawks
Led
fan.
Zeppelin concerts.
How did C.S. Joseph type his recently born newborn son an INTJ?
One bucket for
Seahawks.
urine, one for feces, and one for vomitus.
How did C.S. Joseph type his recently born newborn son an INTJ?
I know what happened. You guys dropped acid, didn't you?
Well, it's because I know what I'm doing.
Now I know y'all are tripping.
I've never seen somebody that's wrong so much. I've seen
C.S. Joseph
contradict himself so many times and look in the camera and not blink.
Look, I'm getting a ton of questions and a ton of drama across the internet because
you're sleazy,
Antisocial, stupid, immoral.
an ignorant slut, and we don't trust you.
people are like, oh, C.S. Joseph, he doesn't know what he's talking about. For him to claim that he can type a newborn child is absolutely ludicrous.
Who's your housekeeper and what you keep in your house?
We were typing our son before he was even born.
Oh, wow. You got to be shitting me.
There's
Oh my
a
God.
host of different behaviors that unborn children have, as well as a host of different behaviors that newborns have.
Yeah.
Put them all together in one place and just take the time to pay attention and observe. I was able to identify patterns, look through all of my memories, and basically re-experience the time that I was in the nursery up to that point and be able to do comparative analysis using introverted thinking logic.
What the are you talking about?
After a while, you see a pattern of behavior with all of the different babies, as well as how children are behaving in the womb. How did C.S. Joseph type his recently born newborn son an INTJ?
It's a 3-step process. 1, think about taking a shit. 2, relax your sphincter. 3,
I know what I'm doing.
You lying ass bitch.
That song will fuck me up.
What a fruitcake.
He's a total fruitcake.
Yeah. By the way, you had made a comment about Washington jails and how nobody had nobody had died in a Washington jail. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
well, nobody's
true.
declared.
Nobody's been declared dead, but
yeah.
it's not true. I didn't
Well,
think that could be true.
when I was there, that's what they were saying.
Well, I didn't understand.
It's just a couple years ago in
yeah.
Did they finally like back when I was working there in 2018? We weren't doing that.
Well, I just couldn't understand how anybody could go and there could be a death in a jail and the coroner allowed them to be declared dead in a hospital without doing an investigation at the scene of the death. So I didn't understand.
They never do.
Yeah.
The jail I was at had 3 deaths the year, and there was nothing.
Well, and I guess like when he worked there, they weren't doing that or whatever. But yeah, they say that there was 29 deaths there, like recently. In
I was at was in a county of 7,000 people, so 3 deaths is like decent.
23.
Yeah,
King
decent.
County had a few, and then there was a big riot in at Geiger in North Spokane.
Is this at county prison?
County.
Yeah, I was in county.
Is it county jail, or are we talking about state prison, or are we talking about federal prison?
No, it's the state. It's the state penitentiary.
Okay, so yeah, it was WCC ran. Okay.
Yeah, they were. It said like the state prisons. So, plural. But I just I couldn't imagine that they were getting away with that because that seemed very unethical.
Because like they would not allow us like one COs we're not doctors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the doctors that work for the prison are not coroners.
Well, sometimes like the coroners are different than medical examiners, where the coroners sometimes are just elected officials and they don't have no.
And they don't see the coroners are not even called out there because they just call the emergency, the ambulance,
right?
And the ambulance responds. The EMTs are not coroners, or they don't pronunciate death either. Well, unless they do, they do it, but they're writing it down like when they're in transport.
Mm-hmm.
So what they would do is if someone is injured and we don't know if they're dead because I'm not a medical professional, right? They would arrive. We point out where they are injured. They get them on a gurney. They strap them up. They kind of do all their things. They check for pulse and stuff, and then they're carting them out, to get them to transport. And by that time they're out of the prison. And when they finally make their, declaration of time of death, well, that time of death wasn't in prison, so they died outside of prison.
That's wild. I just couldn't imagine that. But I know that like in Idaho, that's also a place where they've got that the coroner is an elected official and doesn't have anything to do. Like they are not. They're able to say what the time of death is and declare somebody dead. However, then the medical examiner does the autopsy and stuff and declares the matter and the manner of death, but the coroner just is able to go, they just show up at the scene and say like, okay, this person is dead, just to declare it. But it's wild that it was like that, or that you guys were just taking him to the hospital. That would throw off the time of death. It also is very suspicious because there's a lot of people that, there's these suspicious incidents with people passing themselves away, and their family and friends say no, that's not possible, they would never have done that, or they didn't leave a note, or whatever it was. And very similar to the Epstein drama, it's just wild that they're able to get away with that, where they were having or pronouncing their death at the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Release
a good way
liability
to
to the.
It's a good way to keep the stats low on inmate death and or
sure, your numbers are low.
Yeah, it makes it look like our prisons are
injury,
less violent.
Yeah.
Right. Right, it does. It's because it's completely deceptive.
Yeah.
It's deceptive. And I was telling you guys that in the state that I'm in, like the county jail basically uses guys that are in the county jail as they go and pick up dead bodies from accident scenes or overdoses or whatever. They work for the coroner, and then they get good time. They get time shaved off of their sentence for working for the coroner, and it saves this our county money due to that.
Slave labor is cheaper.
Yeah, it's free
At
labor.
the end of the day, prison is just one huge business and profit.
Sure is.
They make a lot of money. The people that own them.
I changed your name, by the way.
You did. What is it? Something
It's
terrible.
been changed for a while. I figured I should let you probably know about
You probably should, because I'm blind.
Easy's girlfriend.
Oh my god!
I thought you changed that. I was like, that's kind of cute.
Oh my god!
So you are Easy's girlfriend. You're taken.
Oh, Lord of mercy! What?
Cat's out of the bag now.
Oh no! You're shit starting and stirring the pot, aren't you?
Oh, I ain't stirring nothing. I'm not the one reporting it.
Oh Lord. No, I didn't think you were. I think, or who did it? Who was the one that changed it?
Oh, I don't know. I ain't snitching.
Snitches, stitches.
I think I did it on the house.
So, oh Lord. Well,
You call him that too?
People will be saying all kinds of.
No,
shit.
she was talking to me.
Oh, see, I get confused. Like, is it you calling me Lord? I'm sorry. I get referred to as oh God. Now, you can be Lord. I'm oh God.
Don't forget.
Someone like Flow State is going to be power hungry and controlling and want to be egoic.
Don't forget about it.
It kind of seems like Paul's talking about himself.
Right?
Oh yeah, dude, this guy's
it's not like
such a
Flo,
lol cow.
it's not like Flo has any narcissistic traits or anything, guys. It's not a red flag, It's nothing.
No. Well, we all have
a little
narcissistic
earring
traits.
and the frat boy energy.
Right? His hat on backwards.
Dude,
with that
Paul is the
earring.
epitome of a fucking wannabe frat boy. He's the frat boy that got rejected.
They were quoting. Hold on. They're
Some
quoting
frat boy douche with an earring who wants all the time, energy, attention, and resources. He's the hit. He's got an earring, and he's got that frat boy douchey college vibe that you all love so much at the sports bars. He wears his hat backwards and makes little quips, so he's cool to hang out with.
Hey, go back to the very end of that, dude. Look he's wearing a jersey. You can see the two numbers on the front of the jersey, right?
Paul?
Yeah, in that clip, you can tell he's wearing like a sports jersey of some sort, like a wannabe frat boy.
Yeah, well, he also has leather-bound books in his apartment that smells of rich mahogany. Oh.
Yeah, JCPenney's catalog, 1987.
I just told you I want a deep experience, co-creation, community with authentic and real exciting conversation before, during, and after. I don't stop talking during sex either. I know a lot of you half-dead white people out there. You go to have sex and you just don't talk. Just lay there, right? I don't move like that. So.
And he's a pink person if I've ever seen one.
Okay.
I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of questions, and I don't know where to begin.
I love that guy's in the pool.
The first question is, do you think he's a virgin?
Yeah, I think he was a virgin. Well, doesn't
no. Wait, when you say virgin, I just need to clarify, like him fucking a girl or him getting his ass fucked. Which
the
one?
first one. I feel like anybody who's who's delivered dick probably knows that you're not really like trying to say a lot, having conversations.
Exactly. So I think the first one, he's a virgin there. I question the second one.
He says he was a virgin until he was 28, and I believe he might have been older than
Well,
that.
hold on. Now I got you, Crispy.
If you talked with me for a bit, you'd realize more. If you talked with me longer, you might tell your woman to fuck me because you're going to pity me for the fact that I didn't get laid till I was 26. Because I've had that experience where a man was mad at me till he talked to me. Then he goes, you know what? Maybe you should fuck my wife. Because it's kind of sad.
God. Gross.
Is he like a pickup artist or something? Please don't tell me that's his game.
No, he's a sob sit.
Yeah, he's like a black pill dude or something.
He's like the right to travel dude.
Oh, he's passport bro.
No, he's a driver's license or oppression dude. Like,
oh
yeah.
If I was to put a label on Paul, it would be the illusionary super pimp.
Like they think I'm a lol cow, whatever the fuck that is.
He's a dork, is what he is.
What's a lol towel?
A low
You don't know what a lol cow is?
No.
Oh my God! How do you
lol
not
cow,
know?
you know what? LOL, lols.
Yeah, LOL cow.
You milk them for lols.
Oh, okay. Pun of
It's
the joke.
just people that don't have like any self-awareness, and they are. I mean, everyone makes fun of them on the internet, and they seem to not understand why people make fun of them. They're usually just outrageous and goofy.
Okay.
I don't know how else to describe a low cow except for
all these
that.
acronyms.
So you guys don't like Paul? I take it.
I don't know Paul.
What gathered?
This is the first time I've ever seen this guy. It's kind of funny.
I totally find him entertaining.
I might just end up subscribing him to just make fun of him.
He's a complete douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
That's even better.
Easily made fun of. Easily.
Righteous, yeah.
But if you stay on this channel, you'll see him a lot.
You know, I don't know if Illuminati
although
or
it's
him
been declining. Like he quit. He doesn't want to play anymore. For a long time, he thought that he was gonna try to bully me out of YouTube or something. I don't know what he thought, but at some point
all your subs and get famous.
He doesn't want to play anymore. He's got me blocked on everything, and he does. Like you're not supposed to say my name over there. I did go over to his channel today, though.
Well, it's because he's lost at his own game, and now he took his ball and he quit the game and took his ball with him. That's what he did. I'm sure of it. That he couldn't win at this game that he's playing, and now he isn't going to let anyone play.
Thug 101.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I challenged him to street beefs, no, he challenged me to street beefs, but then I accepted, and he backed out of it in the same breath.
And you bare knuckle, or you offered him to bare knuckle fist fight?
I challenged Snafu Snaps to a bare knuckle fight, and he declined. And later that night, Paul didn't like what I was saying on the panel, so he rushes up and said, "Will you fight me like bare knuckle fight me like you tried to push Snaps around?" I was like, "Yes, sir. Yes, I will."
Yeah, and I would like to be the ring girl.
I'd like to see that.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of people would like to see that.
I was a ring girl for a little
bit. There would only be one inevitable outcome I can see: somebody laying on the canvas.
I mean, now in all fairness, he is considerably bigger than me. I'm not small, but he's like 6'3" or 6'4", and
nice.
But he's out of shape. He's scared.
Were you the ring girl for the donkey show?
No, no, I was not.
But she has been to one.
Trust me, we
know she was ringside there.
No, God, but I was a ring girl for like an ultimate fighting thing or whatever. And
you're wearing that.
I traveled with them for a little bit, but then I don't know what happened, but they ran out of money and it just got crazy. And me and my friends, we went home. The girls that they hired, we went home. So,
with fighters?
I think we did maybe 5 or 6 different fights, I think, and then somehow it ended. It was supposed to go. As a matter of fact, the next place we were going was overseas, so I was grateful that it ended when it did. So
wow.
Yeah, like the money wasn't coming in. My agent called and said that was enough, that to get back. They were running out of money, I suppose.
So throughout all your history of modeling and all this, have you ever had any agents come on to you?
My agent was a female, so and I had the
Okay.
same agent forever.
That doesn't mean she didn't come on to her. Okay, that
No,
doesn't mean that didn't
she
happen.
did not. But I mean, I had a lot of photographers that did. That was kind of a thing. Yeah, the photographers always.
I'm a photographer.
I bet
Oh
you
my.
are. I bet.
But you just challenged Snafu, you hating ass, punk ass bitch. Are you gonna bare knuckle fight me on street beefs? Are you gonna bare knuckle fight me, you bitch ass coward Taylor? I'll tear your ass up. Are you going to bare knuckle fight me on street beefs like you tried to push Snafu around with? Are you gonna do it?
Fight you? Will you come?
Well, I have to, right? Because you can't afford the gas money not hanging drywall to get wherever I am.
Street beefs. Hold on, we're gonna look this up. We'll figure this out right now. I will bare knuckle fight you.
Hey, do you think you can go viral after we have a bare knuckle fight? Do you think you could finally do something?
No, he by the end of this 5 minutes, he bitches out.
Hold on a second, Flo. He said you guys were talking a bare knuckle fight, but he said he was going to tear your ass up. I think he's got the fight confused about tearing the ass and stuff. So maybe was insinuating on something else.
Maybe
well, he has Freudian slips quite a bit.
You know, I think so. Here's my thought. I think the most scariest thing, when you're about to fight somebody that could happen, is you're squaring off, right? So Flo, imagine you and this guy are face to face, square off. He's like, you better back the fuck up. And you're like, what? And he goes, you better back the fuck up before I fuck you. You're like, well, wait a minute, what? You mean fuck me up? No, I'm gonna fuck you.
Oh, gross.
Yeah,
I think at that point, if I was me, I'd be like, wait a minute, I don't want to fight you because now, your goal is to try to get in my. You want this contact, you want to be this close. No, I don't want to give you that. Nah, because to me that sounds so weird.
When
I was 23 or 24, I worked in a Netflix distribution hub and as a machine operator. And it was boring as fuck, And so to entertain myself, I'd start fucking with people. And one of the dudes was a big guy, nice guy, but big. And he turned to me one day when he was tired of me pestering him, and he goes, "I ain't gay, but I'll fuck you to prove a point."
Oh,
and that proved the point.
I hear what you're saying. I was walking through a park, going to the gym not too long ago, and I looked at this guy. I guess he just didn't like the way I looked at him. I look at people when I go out. That's a natural instinct. He's like, he looked at me. Well, keep looking. He's like, you called me gay. Then he's like, I'll fuck you in the ass. And I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? He's calling me gay and he's talking about fucking me in the ass.
Oh, yeah. That's
well, because technically, the way some people think about it, it's not gay to be the pitcher. It's gay to be the receiver.
The receiver, yeah, I got it.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
So, in prison,
yeah, I get that.
The bitches are the ones that hold out the other person's pocket. That's how you know you a bitch. If you the dude, you the boss guy, you the guy running shit. Hold my pocket, bitch. They'll be sitting there holding your pocket.
Mean?
It's so I never claimed I was a lawyer.
What does that mean? Hold your pocket. What's that mean?
So they literally will turn their pocket inside out, right? Have it hanging out, and it's like because they can't contact each other, can't physically touch each other, right? That's inappropriate. You can't even pat each other on the back. So the gay guy, the bitch, would hold the pocket of the pants of the guy that's the alpha.
Oh,
and then that would be letting everybody know yo, I fucked this. He's my bitch. It's funny.
Did you have I heard also about this recently that was also super gross and weird, but I hear that in these in these jails where there's women and men, but they're just separated on different floors like our county jail is.
Mm-hmm.
And they do pass one another and stuff, and the guys will ask for a print. A pussy print.
A pussy print.
Yeah, where they
go ahead.
They want a piece of paper with the girl's like print of their
like
vagina.
the outline of their
like she smashes her, like she crotch smashes it.
Yeah, they just like squat down on it and then print their vagina on it, and then
So they
put the paper underneath it.
What are the? I mean, are they
paper all day
Hold
long?
on, hold on a moment. So an actual print on a copier, or like a residue
no, just
print?
on a piece of paper, like on a loose leaf piece of paper, and then they like would squat down on the paper and like give like an imprint of their
Right, with the
vagina.
residue.
I'm glad I wasn't in jail that long enough to know that.
Then they guess they like, I don't know, they smell it or something. I don't know.
Right, the fetish, so they can get off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
never heard of that.
And so they asked for a print, and then yeah, and I understand that that's like a common occurrence in all these prisons, you know.
Maybe in
that's
county jail, because like, so when you go to prison, you go to an intake center first, right? And then from the intake center you get distributed to where you're going to be doing your long stay at. And there's in Washington where I worked at, there was 2 intake prisons, and there's WCC, that's where I worked at, and then there's WCW, that was the women's corrections prison. And
yeah, well, you wouldn't be able to like prison.
so
you
the
don't
men
have-
and women, they didn't, when they were sentenced to prison, they went to 2 separate intakes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You wouldn't have it in a regular prison, but it's just these county jails where it's happening. But the guys are like, you know, the guys are yelling like, "Give me a print, give me a print," and these girls, you know, go off to the bathroom or whatever, and then come back and then slide them a print.
So are they selling them?
No, they're just giving it to them, I guess. I don't
They're
know.
not trading. I figured they'd trade for quite a good price.
I don't know, because I don't think that that would be difficult to do, because they would have to figure out how to put money on their commissary and their books, you know, on their books.
No, they would just trade cigarettes.
Exactly.
They don't have, you can't smoke in jails any longer.
Oh, wow.
Nowhere in the United States can you smoke.
See, the bad thing that was going on when I was a CO, the one thing that we always end up finding, and okay, this is about to get real sexist. Oh, well, I don't think women COs should be anywhere near a male facility, because there have been, like, the time that I was working there, the years that I worked there, there was probably like 15 to 20 female COs getting caught either fucking these inmates, or these inmates are caught with these COs nudes, porn that they made for their inmate friends. I'm like,
yeah.
And here's the worst thing about it. These girls, these women COs, some of them were married, some of them were divorced or single, right? They would risk not only their job, but risk getting charged with rape. Rape for sleeping with an inmate, because the inmate does not have the right to consent. It's called PREA, prison, you know, whatever.
The rape policy in prisons.
So I'm like, man, you got wasted your career and your life for some prison dick.
Well, did you see that one story that just happened like last year or whatever, where the prison guard that
Crispy, hang on a second.
Sure.
Glenn, I got caught screwing the fucking commissary lady who was married to one of the COs.
No, it happens like fucking all the time. Like, no shit. Like, and then once it happens, like the facility has to immediately press charges, because if the inmate
liability on the prison.
if the inmate ends up filling out a grievance report on that,
Mm-hmm.
yo, the prison will get sued so quick for that.
Yeah, the prisons, their biggest concern is liability. You know, and so they want to reduce any kind of liability. That's why they'll send people to the hospital for just you know, just anything and everything, because they don't want to get in trouble for something happening and them not doing the right thing. So
see, that's why I hated when they would like request us to go help out at the female prison, like every once in a while, because the male intake prison and the female intake prison was maybe about 45 minutes away from each other, right? And if you worked at the male prison, you probably lived somewhere nearby, somewhere in the middle between the both of them, right?
Yeah.
And I would
there's
hate
a big
going there.
community of officers that all work at these.
Yeah, there's only
facilities,
only COs could go there, so it's like,
right, yeah.
Do you remember that her name was Vicky White, and she was a prison guard in Alabama, and this just happened like I
Yeah,
think
the recent
in
guys
22 maybe, and she
broke
was
them out. And,
yeah she
oh
broke them out.
yeah.
Yeah, she was like, I think she was like maybe like 56 or something, but she had been in that prison or been working there for, I don't know, maybe like 20 something years, I think. And she busted this guy out who he was a murderer himself.
yeah,
And they got away for, I forget how long they got away for, but they
There was a
were on
manhunt
the
for a
run.
couple weeks.
yeah, there
Yeah,
was.
right. They
Yep.
were gone for a couple weeks or whatever, and they finally found them. And she had sold her house and got like and got all of her money in cash, right? And
No
paid
plan
all
and a
of that.
manifesto, and
Right,
she's fucked.
right. And then what the end of it, like where they had them like surrounded and the whole bit. What the crazy part is that they got him, or they had him surrounded or whatever, and you could hear it on the radio where she said like, "Oh God," or like said something like that, and then the gun went off. He's claiming that she killed herself, but we know that he shot her. He shot and killed her. And there's no way that, like, you could hear her on the radio like that, like he did something that shocked her enough that she responded in that way, and then you heard the gun go off. He claims that she did it herself, and there was just absolutely no way. And I haven't heard anything else about that since. I'm gonna look that up. In fact, that was crazy.
Are you talking about the Kansas City shit?
No, this was Alabama in like 2022.
Oh.
Deep South, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
I
God, and
don't
there's a video on it here. There's a like footage from
Redneck
the
shit.
jail. I'll send it to you, Flo.
Okay. I
Okay.
can't wait.
I bet. I'm sending it.
Yeah, like when I would go over to like the females prison, I hated doing like tier checks and stuff because these bitches are the most scandalous women out there. They want your attention all the time, and they will do anything they can to get you in trouble because they know if they could get you for something like SA, what they would call it. Like,
you're paranoid about that anyway.
I
Like,
actually
no,
you're very paranoid. He's got
I
cameras
leveraged that
in
sort
his
of thing
bedroom.
against the female CO when I was in jail because they turned off everybody's phones. One person was making a bunch of noise. So they turned off all the phones, and I was trying to get bonded out. And I was pissed. So at night, the chick who was on duty, long story short, I coaxed her into the people in the cell next to me. She told them to fuck each other. She was totally just joking, right? Made it a very playful environment. But the next day, when I talked to Dan, the fat jail administrator, I said, "Look, Dan, I want my phone back on. I wasn't making the noise, and I don't think it's appropriate that your guard last night was telling the inmates to fuck each other."
Oh my God, you ass! That's so rude.
I got my phone back on. I got bonded out.
Play whatever card you got.
And then when the next time I came back again, that chick was still in love with me, and yeah,
probably even more.
Probably even more. Yeah, I was trying to get her to invite me to the sheriff's office Christmas party as her date.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny. Like, you know, everybody thinks like a whole lot of the nasty stuff that goes on. Like everybody thinks that when you go to prison, everybody's getting their butthole taken, right?
Right.
It's not true. It's really not true. It's really chill for the most part, unless there's like a set beef. Unless there's like a beef going on, everything's chill. Except if you have to work in the how do I say this?
Molesters.
No, the less mentally
big foreheads and thick glasses.
Yeah, the less mentally you know, sound.
Capable, yeah.
People that are slow.
Yeah.
Guys, when you see them in the chow hall and you walk over and you say, "You boys gonna eat them wieners?"
No, what's worse is when you're doing tier checks and you're walking down the tier and you're looking in the rooms, you know, checking their cells every hour. it's the worst time to do it is at night.
Right.
Because you're going in there, you turn your flash, you put your flashlight in there, and you're like, hey, you don't know how many times where I'm like, hey, get that out of your mouth. You don't know where that's been. Get in your bunk. You know, it's just like they're just doing things just all the time. I'm just like, why is it always these ones? It's never the other. It's these guys.
I mean, you're the guy bringing it up, dude.
when I was in jail, the most awkward thing that happened, my mom sent me a bunch of books, right? The last time I went to jail, you know, that call of shame, right? Sorry, Mom, I'm in jail again. I told her that fine. Because she'd been trying to save my soul and shit. I was like, whatever books you send me, I'll read. And so she sent me a bunch of, she's like somewhere on the line between Christian and New Agey, right? So she sent me a bunch of those sort of books. One of them was the chakra book. And there's instructions for awakening your chakras. So I started on my root chakra, which is you put your hands on your hip and you swivel your hips 50 times in each direction.
Let me see.
So
this is you're actually teabagging me, but you're talking about chakras.
Right, I'm talking about chakras. So I wait until about 3 in the morning. Until about 3 in the morning when as many people are as asleep as they're gonna get, right? And I go over to away from the bunks and I'm swiveling my hips. I'm awakening my chakras. And that's when the dude decides to do his round. So I'm standing in the corner. I'm looking at the beanhole. Dude opens the beanhole and looks in at me, and we just make eye contact. I don't know about chakras, but I know that if I have a half-open chakra, maybe that will create energy issues for me later on. So I'm not going to stop awakening this chakra. Right. And so we just held eye contact for about 3 solid seconds while I'm swiveling my hips. He never said a word. He just shut it and then kept on going.
Oh my God.
Awkward.
That's the only chakra I awakened. After that, I got that one awakened, and then I was like, the rest can fuck off.
Show me how it's done. I want to do it.
That's deep flow. That's deep.
Show me how you do it.
I don't want to partially reawaken my chakra, so I'm probably not going to.
Please, we don't want to see your chakra loose. We don't want to see that chakra loose, okay?
It's a male thing. It's a male thing.
I mean, if you want that, go over to Hormax's.
I can't wait to get my dick wet.
What's that guy's name that wears the that hangs out with Maxer that wears the mask over his face? I've been trying to think of him all day. What's that guy's name? Who?
Quarantos?
No, he wears like a sex mask thing over his face.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know who he is, but he's creepy. Yeah. All those people are insanely creepy.
I mean, really creepy. There's a video of them talking about he let, or I think he always has like a slave or something where he's doing something where he's got something like that. He's super weird.
You got another vocab if you're going to play the game, babe.
Right. Well, I don't know.
I don't want to play
about it, but I know that particular word.
The game was one of the most excellent features in this movie, right? What's it called?
With the GIMP?
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction, right?
One of my favorite soundtracks.
My safe word is pumpernickel.
Oh, crazy. I don't like pumpernickel.
You're fucking weird. Don't you dare whisper in the mic in my chat again.
Where in the fuck do you find these people?
I don't know, but if I feel like that was uncomfortable. There's a
so that's
the cellar.
Anxiety.
You might find these people in the cellar. You might. Not in my cellar though. I don't keep.
Damn it! I don't even remember what I was about to look up something. Oh yeah, I remember now.
We'll see old bald come in. We had the hot water and the cold water pipes up on the corner, running all the way down the building, and the red one was painted red because it was hot, right? You weren't supposed to touch it. He'd come in every Sunday morning. He'd say, "All right, boys, I know you already polished your pipe, but you better clean that one off up there."
What did you just make a dumb? Did you just make a dumb joke
on key? Yeah. So I'm making fun of this guy. You know, we had our Cottonwood Idol night Friday nights. We got to do something at the big meeting. the weekly meeting. We get up and do Cottonwood Idol and shit, and we do, sing songs and do stupid love.
What happened? Did I? Oh, I meant to. That's funny. I meant to add Crispy back up, and apparently I just dropped Voy down instead.
Whining,
bitch.
The both of us down in the cellar.
I know.
Right.
I know. Boy, thank you
I'll
for
pop that wine
the
glass.
grapes and wine and cheese with my wine. Been a long day in the wine cellar.
I mean, at least there's wine.
Where should I send people? I'm about to wrap up.
Cool.
Don't send us
My
somewhere
dick.
weird.
Does anybody have any final thoughts? Any thing they want to hawk? Upcoming streams? Requests for prayers?
You know what? Actually, I am getting ready to do another episode. I have another show called like the Late Night Podcast, and I put it behind a paywall on Patreon because we get either really spicy or real controversial.
That's an advertisement. Those are not fine. Oh,
Yeah. And so the episode that I have up right now is with porn star Hime Marie. And we play a sexy trivia game where let's just say I win and she loses and someone's naked.
Does Base know about this?
I told him about it, but he doesn't I told him like, hey, you just don't watch it, And see, the thing is, I don't put it out on YouTube at all. Like, I don't have it on my page or promotions on my page at all for it. It's more like word of mouth and other people promote it. I'm trying to do the Andrew Tate thing where I have everybody else promote my shit but me.
Have you met
How's that
Crispy?
working?
Huh?
Have you met Crispy?
Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah, you met me.
She might be your girl for that.
Ooh, Crispy.
Yeah, maybe. For he's talking about advertising.
I know.
Yeah.
Or for whatever.
Or for whatever. Don't whore me out like that.
I mean, is it really whoring out when you enjoy it?
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what we're talking about, really.
Give me a $300 down payment, and she'll enjoy
Oh,
it.
that's your 20%.
$300, and she'll be there. $400, and she'll enjoy it.
Oh, I don't need her to enjoy it.
Oh no. Well, shit.
Nothing like some grape jokes to
end the night. Exactly. Way to go.
Right. So, anyways, you're out here promoting smut and degeneracy.
Yeah. Well, it's not really smut degeneracy. It's a variety. It's more of a it's Howard Stern meets like best way to say it's Howard Stern meets Stephen Hawkins. Okay, where there's some degeneracy but some real deep conversation. It's not like rage bait and like blood sport where like I'm attacking anybody. I'm just asking questions and getting to know people's worldview and people's people that like we would most likely not want to think.
You don't even have an actual.
It's very mature.
You don't even have an actual mission or an actual point to make, do you?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, he does.
I don't have one. Boy, that's not a prerequisite. I don't have one.
My show is to actually have conversations with people that you normally wouldn't have conversations with. Most people wouldn't have a conversation with a porn star about like psychology and theology, like because that's exactly what she's studying in college.
One of the most
you told me
one
about
of the
that
most
girl.
bona fide guys on channel actually met a porn star and he didn't have a conversation with him. He just got his own shoe thrown
Boy,
back.
Are you drinking tonight?
You can tell.
I mean, I'm talking.
You're a little spicy.
He is spicy.
And like, so I have a rapper that's coming on and he's talking about the gang life and the gang culture that he grew up in East LA and like how many bodies like his gang got and stuff like that. That's what we're filming tomorrow. And then I may have locked down Nick Fuentes. Everybody knows who that is.
And I'll help advertise it for you.
Oh, whoa, sounds good to me.
I was just about to tell you, put a link in the back chat and I'll throw it in the chat now and I'll throw it in the description box after.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll help advertise
I got a
it.
couple of questions for Mr. Fuentes.
I have a few questions for him. But
keep
everything
just keep Fatty away from the show.
Hey,
Fatty's gonna be hanging out outside the studio with a hammer.
But see, everything it is like built around like
no, dude.
The whole show is built around comedy. So like with Hime, when we had her on, like we were talking about like how often does she get like hit on, right? So then we tried all these ridiculous pickup lines to see who she determined like had the riz, right? And then with the rapper that's coming on tomorrow, we're gonna make fun of the whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, and we're gonna have our own rap battle, and he has to judge who's the winner. Like
I want to judge.
There's silliness to it, it's comedy to it, so where we could talk about like some of these really difficult topics, but then have some light humor in there to kind of break it up. So it's entertaining.
I like that though. I like that somebody else besides me was kind of pushing back against the
the porn star thing with
the policing against the policing of
I just like look. You could have your view, you could hold it, you could that you could stand for it, and you could decide to go after everybody that you're labeling a degenerate. That's great. If that's what you want to do, cool. Be my guest. But at some point, what ends up happening is you end up becoming or being labeled as the de facto moral, police, right? The moral guy.
The Taliban.
Yeah. And then what ends up happening is once your dirt comes out, once you fuck up and you get exposed, that is a fall. That's a long fall from the high horse you're going to be going. Like Humpty Dumpty ain't going to be able to get recovered after that. And that's why I am very cautious by saying like, yeah, I may disagree with you. I have my reasons for disagreeing with what you're doing. I think it may be detrimental not only to you, but to others. But you have the choice. You have the freedom to make that choice to do so. And I respect your choice that you get to make. And but one thing is, I also respect the consequences that you get to face. And no, I will not advocate to save you from them.
And that was sort of my point, is that it's for me, the respecting people's freedom or autonomy is a higher value than managing what they do.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, so we police everybody. We decide we have the moral police. Cool. I get it. The shame is good. Shame can work to some degree. Absolutely. But see, the problem is when everybody has no issue with shaming people of the demons that they don't have an issue with. But you know what? No, none of these moral people want to talk about the demons they enjoy playing with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
They're like, well, drunks are I could say drunks are bad people. All drunks are they're just alcoholism is horrible. Why? Because I don't deal with alcohol. I don't have a problem drinking. I don't even like drinking. I have like maybe one drink and I can't even finish that half the time. Right. So that's not my thing. But sexy women. Oh yeah. That's my thing. And I love sexy women. Like that's my hurdle, right? That's my demon I like to play with. Right. Like so people have no problem calling out other people's sin when it's sin that they don't have an issue with. But rarely do they call out their own.
Fuck never. Dude. Nail on the head.
So
how's this complete hypocrisy? There's I absolutely 100% agree with Glenn's position on that. It takes a certain amount of wisdom and humility to recognize that you can't nor should you control other people's actions. You can encourage, you can hope they do better, you can encourage they do better. But I mean, it takes a certain amount of hubris to even believe that you know best or that you know enough about their situation, at least for me.
Yeah, I don't like my thing is like, okay, if I was looking at that whole, if I was going to have Jasmine Jabbar on my show, I probably wouldn't push back on her very much either. I'm gonna inquire. I'm gonna do like, okay, so so how did you come to that worldview? I want to know how she came there logically. I want to understand what guided her to that background or choice to make. Like, why did that seem like the best option, and that she can make? What factored in it? You know what I mean? Like, before I could come to my my opinion of her, right? Like, because if you just judge somebody based off an action and not know the circumstances that led them to that action or caused that they took to make that action,
or what the alternatives are.
Yeah, exactly. And by just jumping to it based off the action, you can say, yeah, the action's wrong. Great, cool. We could all agree the action is wrong. But why did they end up going that road?
Mm-hmm.
What factors took place? And for me, I'm like, all right, I want to know what factors took place, not because I sympathize or want to make it less lenient or think they should get a pass, but by knowing how they got there, you could reverse create the process out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could show them how, like, okay, but you see, this is where things were wrong, and this is how you could reverse engineer that and get them back to center. But without knowing it and just saying you're a degenerate, you're this, you're that, and you're just being judgmental. And that's what the Pharisees were. And
right.
Jesus had beef with the most religious group of people out of all of them. He didn't have an issue with the sinners. He wasn't beefing with the sinners.
I had that thought too, I'm not Christian. I don't know who all is in that.
What was that wrong earlier though, Flo?
I had the same the same thought about Jesus. But at the time I didn't know who was motivated by religious views and who wasn't. I'm not Christian, but I am, I can wield Christianity well enough.
Let me answer, are we not men? Okay. What's wrong with judgment? Nothing wrong with judgment. But you know what? According to the Bible, it's not my place to cast judgment on somebody, right? It says
Who's
in
gonna
John
throw
3,
the first stone, right? Who's
John
gonna be the first
3:17.
one?
This is my favorite place to go. John 3:17. Everybody knows John 3:16. God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. Everyone who believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. John 3:17 says, for the Son of God did not come here to judge the world, but to save the world. So you're telling me the most sinless, perfect man that has ever walked the face of this earth did not come here to judge us, but to save us. So why would I think that I have the audacity to judge when I know I am a fallen sinner, failed, that fucks up more times than probably most, have the right to condemn or start judging others based off of sin that when I know I have my own issues, right? Now, we all are judgmental, okay? We look, we see a fat chick, we're like, that bitch eats just way too many ho-hos. She needs to stop, right? But we don't know she may have a thyroid problem or a medical issue.
And
judge.
Right. And what probably maybe nobody here knows except for me, I don't know, maybe they do, is that obesity is very frequently correlated with sexual abuse.
Yes.
So there's like, and that's, I guess, like, I agree with everything Glenn said, but from a I'm not Christian, right? So I don't have that reference point, that starting point, but you get the same conclusion. Ultimately, you realize that you don't know everything as much as you thought you did. The older you get, the more you realize you didn't really know everything. There's more variables at play than you had assumed. And also that you were wrong in your own actions. Right? And the more that you see yourself be wrong, the more understanding you are of other people's and of your own sort of.
And tell me, like, who do you think you have more of an influence to correct or to inspire change? The person that you have no relationship with and no connection with? You think by calling them a piece of shit, this, that, and the other, all of a sudden, like, oh, you know what? Damn it. This nobody named Flo State just call me a piece of shit. So you know what? He must be right. And I just want to change my life now. That rarely works. But it's the people that you actually have a relationship with, a connection with, right? You could be like, hey, man, this is where you're fucking up. You know, and why that change works, because they know that you actually know them and you care enough about them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody can recognize, and that's the point I was trying to make to base, is that you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. When you attack somebody, that's self-indulgent. That's not for the greater good. You're just indulging your own righteous indignation. If you really wanted to make a positive change, you would find a way to put some salesmanship into the message you're trying to bring to the person, right?
That's right.
And one of the things that I pointed out between the difference between the way that Jesus did correction and the way the Pharisees did correction, you just pointed out the Pharisees did it to show them, everybody, look how much more moraler than we are than you. We are more superior. We are better than you because we are more moral than you are. And in Matthew 23, Jesus is like, you guys are like, all you guys do is wash the outside of the cup, but you guys are dirty inside. You don't even wash the inside. You're dirty. You guys are like, a whitewashed tomb on the outside, but filled with dead corpses, right? Like nothing on the inside is clean. It's all exterior. And the other thing is the way that they did it was they were doing it to shame and to, to elevate their own status, correct?
Yeah.
But when
it's the Messiah complex when they're helping, so they can brag about helping.
Yep. But when Jesus did it, he did it from the point of like, yo, these people are about to go to hell if I don't save them, I don't help them. So like his heart was breaking for them. Like it's like I want them to, like even when he's on the cross, like, dear God, forgive them for they not know what they do. Like just spare them, okay? And I think that's the difference in the heart of when we try to correct people. Are we doing it to save them, or are we doing it to make ourselves look better, or to virtue signal in essence? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's just what I think sometimes, my opinion. I'm not saying that Base is wrong in having his opinions. And I told him that
I actually think it's that his abrasiveness has turned that whole incident with the chick into a massive positive, because now a lot of people are thinking about it both ways. And I know that DL talked to his daughter, and I haven't talked to my daughter yet. I mean, we've had similar talks before, but like, I think that has been a catalyst for a lot of good.
Oh yeah. And like, I was talking to him the day about it, and I brought up a scenario. I was like, if you're walking down the street and you saw a girl that was rather obese, wearing some clothes that she shouldn't be wearing, and everything's spilling out, and she's wearing a crop top and her nipples exposed, right? Her nipples just out loose, right?
Even better. I need a new secretary.
And I was like, would you tell her that the way she is dressed is inappropriate and could mess up yellow boys for looking at her crusty looking nipple? Would you have the to save the youth, to save the future kids? Would you correct her, right? And he's like, probably not. Like that wouldn't be his thing, But if a guy was walking around some short shorts with his nutsack hanging out, he said, yeah, he would more likely go up to him and be like, dude, that's degenerate. Put your nutsack away, these kids, but why would you think that's okay? Why would you do that and not the other one? It's by principle, it's the same thing. Shouldn't you, if you standing for that truth of that's immorality, or that's not acceptable, or that's inappropriate, you should have no problem doing it to either. And so when we are picking and choosing in that manner, now what does that say? It says that we're really not on that principle that we may think that we're on, or we do, but we, when it comes to certain circumstances that we may think that we may be, at risk for something, we're going to be like, it's not worth the battle.
Yeah, everyone picks their own battle or picks their battle. You can't fight every battle every time, or you'll just be toast with no discernment, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even Base has demonstrated that, right? Because he hasn't gotten on to you about it. Of course, yours is behind a paywall. The other day when I was on his panel, drug dealers came up at one point as a comparative example, and it didn't really. I was hoping that they would use that example more than they did, because at that point nobody knew that I don't do it anymore. But on paper, I have credentials, right? I'm a drug dealer, so right. So I was just sort of waiting for it to spring that, like, well, wait a second, are you promoting, but
degeneracy, and
right. It's once you start pushing those dominoes down, they don't really stop tumbling, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, it's also like
pushing it just to recognize it, though. It's not pushing it just to want to understand it, and to want to understand the people that are behind it.
Do you remember the Westboro Baptist Church years ago?
I live in Kansas City. They're not far from here.
Oh, really? They're still thriving. They're still existing. Wow.
Yeah, still
no, I don't know if they are or not, but
they're protesting. They're just doing a few months.
They were doing the whole military protest or military funeral protests, and like saying like doing their thing. Now, were they wrong in their messaging that pointing out that that the lifestyle that they were protesting against is a sin? No, they weren't wrong in it, but it did make Christianity look bad.
It backfired like a motherfucker.
Yeah, and that's what we got to be cautious with. There's nothing wrong with what Base's opinion was of the show. He's completely entitled to that, right? And there's nothing wrong with saying that way, the way that he would approach, interviewing Jasmine and calling her out for her lifestyle.
He would never get another interview with anybody again. Like
there would be nothing wrong with it, because it would also be true. The lifestyle is bad, and it does detrimental for women, and it does cause problems for society. There's nothing wrong with that, him saying that. But my opinion is the way that she handled it may not be in the way that I would have handled it, and I may not have used the verbs or the thing. I may have not said the things that she said, but it was it's the interview to get to know somebody. It wasn't a debate. It wasn't this or that. It wasn't like the venue to give them their comeuppance, right? And I guarantee you, the difference in approach may be that more people be open to that have a more unpopular lifestyle or view of the world, and interview them with Sarah rather than someone that may seem more confrontational, and that may work against your goal by trying to spread that message, when you could approach it differently and not necessarily promote it, but give some, sort of guidance to where they don't feel attacked, but they're going to be more open to receive information from you later. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to know your big picture and then figure out how you're going to be most effective at getting it. And if you start burning all your bridges when you're like, how big is this? When you're a tiny channel, it's not gonna be helpful to the goal overall.
And I agree with his goal. He like he said, he is.
I don't disagree with his goal either. I think that he's got a lot of right points.
I like I said, I don't have a problem with. I don't think like at least 90% of the things that he has said that I've listened to, I don't have a disagreement with. I support it. I agree with them. The only difference would probably be is the delivery that I would approach it would be different than the way that he approaches it. And not to say that my way is better than his way. His way works, so does my way work. But my way works better for me. His way works. There's different design outcome, right? The different reaction. And if depending on what your desired goal is in doing so, that would determine whether or not the way that you're doing it is successful or beneficial overall, right? And that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, just I agree with him 90% of the stuff that he says, and I just think that I would address it in a different manner or different way. That's it. Not saying that his is wrong at all, but it's just different.
Different approach, right?
Yeah, a different approach with
when you're.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
My name is Elon Ma.
Everybody.
Why doesn't your mouth move when you talk? Okay.
Where are you at?
Why are you behind a filter and shit? I just got porn bombed. Dun, dun, dun.
And see, like, this is one thing that I agree. Like, what I've said about like shows that are spicy like that, or you're gonna have something like that. I think those shows should be behind a paywall. I don't think they should be live streamed publicly. I think I like all the shows that I do that I think that push the envelope. I don't even live stream them. I put them up behind a paywall on a completely different site. And you know why? Because I don't want kids to get to them. I want it to be difficult I don't want it to be. I don't want to be like the Fresh and Fits that let young people watch their stuff. That's not me. I don't want that. Like, I think
at least not yet. I think there's
adult conversation should be for adult settings, and yet should be an adult to be able to listen to them and engage in them. And I don't want that to spill over to the younger crowd whatsoever.
Have you heard what younger crowd listens to? Anyway?
Yeah.
Do you remember being a younger crowd? Like, nothing is more vulgar than when you're in middle school.
Seriously.
Except for Girl Talk. If you've ever heard Girl Talk, that shit is graphic.
Do you remember the Eminem's rap group called D12?
Yes, sir.
Remember when D12 dropped in like 98?
Yeah.
Or 99?
Devil's Night in D12 world. Yep.
Man, when he's talking about like, getting head from his grandmother and shit like that, and how his dad was going in his room because his mom was on her period. Like, dude, the shit dude, I used to say those lyrics verbatim out loud. Like, I knew they were bad.
Fatty, say something. Fatty, say something. This is
the Slim Shady LP. I remember getting that from a friend and listening to it in my room on my Discman and going, oh, fuck. If my parents find this, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. For sure.
And then today I would still be able to rap along every word for the whole album,
So my stepdad found D12's Devil's Night album and he played it. And then I remember coming home and he sits me down. He's like, so you want to fuck your grandmother? That sounds good to you? And I was like, what? No. This is the shit that you listen to. So you obviously like old women, don't you? Like, no. It's just a song. It's just lyrics. But you like this. This is what you like. Oh my God. It was bad. He broke that album. I was so mad. I bought it again and I hit it. He broke that one. So now I have the vinyl and I have it on my wall.
That's all right. Yeah, my Korn is my band, right? That's been my shit. Follow the Leader came out when I was like 7th, 8th grade. And I remember being told, like, my parents did not like Korn. Like, my mom read an article about it somewhere, like in the Kansas City Star or something, right? She was like, by the time I heard of them, she already knew who they were. She wasn't down with it. But she assured me I'd grow out of it, right? It was sort of a contention point. But a couple of years ago, I took my daughter to Korn as sort of a, I don't know. It just because my daughter wanted to go. But when I told my mom, it was kind of one of those, ha ha, I told you I wouldn't grow out of it.
It's not just sober. It's a feel good story. you know, you can tell her about the band and how they went through their trials and tribulations and found their sobriety and found their serenity, and
it was awesome. And you know what? I didn't realize until then,
rock.
When I was walking in with my daughter, right? All the other dads in their cargo shorts and t-shirts are like, "Oh, bro, you're bringing your kid. That's so cool. I thought about bringing my kid, but it's school night." You know, that sort of shit.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like a total flashback because I remember like being the kid when other dads were doing that to my dad at shows, you know, and
it was funny. So
what is dad music?
Like, this is what was crazy. So this is how, like, I was a huge Eminem fan, still a huge Eminem fan. Like, I knew literally every album, every song, you know, every battle. Like, I knew everything. I knew about like the gang that was like, you know, like their
How old were
security,
you?
Right? You know, like I turned 40 this year.
Okay.
Right. So I'm in Vegas. I was living in Vegas and I was doing some production work for podcasts. I mean, that's what I do besides this. I help produce podcasts. Like I work with Pearl. Like, you know, I'm her US, you know, one of her US producers when she's in the States. Right. So one of the guys that I was producing, he ends up going on this show called The Green Room. And we get there and I find out the host of The Green Room had all this Eminem and D12 and Detroit memorabilia, signed albums and stuff like that. And I come to find out that the host is the guy that made the song Lose Yourself. He played the piano. He created the piano part for Lose Yourself for the movie 8 Mile, right? And we clicked. Like, he was so surprised that I knew all this stuff and, like, you know, just like things about Detroit that I never been to Detroit, but just being a huge fan of Eminem, like, you know. So now he hits me up every once in a while. He's like, "Hey man, guess what? We have this show in Vegas. You know, so-and-so from the D's coming out here. Like, it's cool now. Like, I kind of got a close, like a little bit of an in with the Shady Camp now. Like, you know, but I can't say I'm officially shady, you know."
What up?
But it was just cool. I was like, man, my goal is that one day I'm hanging out with him in Vegas and like I meet Marshall. Like that'd be cool. That'll be cool.
My ex-wife sent me and my daughter some messages about a week ago, apparently, and she's super flaky, so who knows if it's gonna stay good. But apparently, she's got some in with the Strange Music Tech 9 crew. So opportunity to go like meet Tech and shit. And so I don't know. We'll see if that pans out. Yeah, I mean, I live in Kansas City. It's not, you know, it's definitely within the sphere of things that are, it's not like me running into somebody who's with Eminem, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is, you know, we'll see.
There you go.
And have you
Denver
heard of that
Montana,
newer artist named Dax?
I've heard of him. I don't know his music.
Okay, so if you like Tech 9, because he did a song with Tech 9, and you know, he has remixed a couple of Eminem songs too, right? He did like a 10-minute freestyle on I think the song like Rap God by Eminem,
which is the fastest like,
yeah,
Rap God is dope.
Yeah. But he did like this guy Dax did a 10-minute freestyle on it. It was great, and he did a music video for it too. Anyway, so I've been a fan of this guy ever since I found out about him a couple years ago. So me and Pearl, we were in Tennessee this past March. I don't know if you guys knew that she ended up going on like the Daily Wire, and she sat with Matt Walsh, or not Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles. If you guys know who that is. So I was the producer there. You hear me talking in the background over the mic, correcting her and asking Mike questions and stuff like that. So we're there, and she's like, "Hey, let's go hit the street and let's do some street interviews." Cool. And then she gets this message. She's like, "Oh shit, I forgot. We should have been at this concert tonight. We had tickets. You know, one of my friends was rapping out here." I'm like, "Oh, who?" She's like, "Oh, this rapper named Dax." I was like, "What the fuck?" So we end up meeting up with him later that, like, the next day. And I'm just like, this is cool. Like, this guy, he's like the future. He has like the best flow out of anybody that's out there right now.
Really?
Like, if you
DAXX?
Just DAX. Just look him up. Look up the Rap God freestyle.
Have you heard Khan? Kaan?
Yes.
That dude doesn't need to breathe, does he?
No. But man, it was cool. It was cool. But when I was over with True, and his name's True from the Green Room, that's the guy that did the whole 8 Mile or the Lose Yourself track. He gave me this energy drink. It was called cocaine.
I've seen those.
You seen those?
Yeah.
Yo,
I've never had one.
Drinks are awesome.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yep, they are good.
They'll let you up.
I prefer my cocaine off a stripper's ass.
Crispy. Yeah, so what it is, it's one price to get access to the Patreon, and then you will get all the videos uploaded as they upload. So you'll get access to all the episodes for that show as they upload each week. So it's like, again, $25 a month. You get all the videos as they come up, access to them. They never go down. So yeah, that's why it's just one price and not different tiers, because I didn't want to do the different tier thing. And yeah.
I mean, so that first link obviously is to Glenn's other podcast, and the second link is to this week's sponsor, Mr. FattAss himself, whose obesity has been cured. Praise God, it's a miracle.
Sweet.
And
It's
let's
a
see.
miracle.
Don't forget, guys, memberships have fallen below 500 for the first time in months. So keep gifting those memberships. And Fatty, you got anything to hawk? Any pitch?
Wait a minute, you got more than 5? Man, I got 5.
Yeah, but how much do your memberships cost?
Like for YouTube, I think like $5 or something. Like they're like nothing.
I have one level and it's $1.
Really?
Yeah. And it's been a really good marketing strategy because people can gift it, right? You can make it rain in the chat. It becomes a social activity, really.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
It doesn't put me on the hook for a lot because really I don't have time. I just don't have much time to offer special, little tier things. So
it's a good way to find out who's working. You got 120 people, you got 4 in chat. You drop that bomb, figure out who's just sitting back there watching.
Yeah, that worked a lot better at first when I didn't have as many members. Now I've got so many members that YouTube, I don't know how they figure out who to give memberships to because I don't have 500 people watching right now. It goes somewhere.
Friends.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to do that too. I'll just make it $1 too and just do the whole flow.
At first, I didn't offer anything, but then I saw that you could do custom emojis, and so you get custom emojis.
See, I saw that, but I don't know how to create custom emojis. Like, I know how to edit the shit out of video. I could add like some of the most amazing effects to a video.
You want an emoji of Lindsay's
more
ass?
than that.
An emoji is just it's just a square photo that you upload.
Oh, is a JPEG?
Yeah, you could just upload it into Studio.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you just have to choose a picture that will show. It's a little emoji, so it's got to be something simple, right? And easy
it has to be like a Faircon size, right? A Faircon size, like a 150 by 150.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's converters and all kinds of shit you can run them through, and whatever's Canvas and your what's the other one you guys use? The other Microsoft one that you guys are all using.
I use a Premiere Pro. And
I'm on Adobe and all that shit too. So
yeah, I'm big with like Photoshop, any Adobe product. I that's all I run because it's industry standard. For filmmaking.
Zero. I'm shutting down I unpinned the link because I'm wrapping up the stream. I got to get a few hours of sleep because I'm actually doing some real work tomorrow. Because memberships have fallen below 500, guys. All right, Fatty, you got anything coming up?
Just unless somebody needs a prostate exam, I'd probably not.
All right. Thanks for coming by.